it will be in sync.
Okay, great. So I've just gone straight ahead and let it load up. All right, guys. So welcome. This is another qualification game for the elimination draft between ACCM and WaRRioR, and we are here with Killer B and Milmano, who are going to go ahead and take it away and cast this game. I'm going to be quiet and shut the hell up for a bit and let you guys do all the hard work.
Great. Thanks, Zach, for having us. This is Killer B. Milmano, are you there, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all here. Absolutely delighted to be here. Let's get on.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, we got a Spanish war here on what I believe is Ghost Lake. I've got ACCM. Actually, I should change the team colors here. ACCM playing in the purple, WaRRioR playing in the red. Both players as Spanish. And yeah, best of one elimination game here. These guys are going to go at it kind of not for all the marbles. We're in the qualification stage, but losing this game, of course, means you go home. Milmano, is anything striking you about this map for either player right off the bat?
Look at how open ACCM is. I mean, typically for a Ghost Lake map, you do like for big warriors. If you see, it is fairly closable. Thanks to tree lines and so on. But for ACCM, it's pretty open. He's gonna have a fun game. I mean, oh god.
Yeah, so let's start off on WaRRioR side of the map. Really nice back stone. That's always nice as a Spanish player if you want to go with the tower rush or if you want to go with castle into conquistadors. Having safe stone is really nice. WaRRioR in red will also have really nice berries and two pretty darn safe wood lines. And like you said, he can just create a little wall there and be really safe back at home. If we look on the other side, ACCM playing in purple, sending a fourth villager over to wood early, potentially thinking about some early aggression. Like you said, his map is really open. Maybe an early bit of drushing or a tower aggression would give him some time to close himself in, but I suppose we'll figure that out as we go. Did you get to see the previous game, Milmano?
I was busy just trying to get some things set up and actually get some food, so unfortunately I didn't get to see it, but...
Gotcha. Well, we won't do any spoilers anyway.
I am really the worst for spoilers, so it's a good thing I wasn't there then. All right, so it looks like right now WaRRioR's taking the first boar in. He's actually got 4 in the wood at the back as well, and for ACCM he's again got 4 in the wood. So from both players, I'm expecting to see definitely a drush from WaRRioR. ACCM, I mean, he's probably looking to I think, go for a drush. Because if you're going for a tower rush, I don't normally see 4 on wood at the start of the game. Normally you do it a little bit later when you want to get those towers up and so on. So I think he's going to look to go and try and do a drush of sorts. He could be doing something else like an archer flush or something, but due to the nature of the map, I think he might just go for the drush. So we'll see what happens there.
Great, yeah, for the moment, these players just booming up, getting themselves going in the Dark Age. Players dropping mills, nothing too crazy. For the moment, scouting is, for the most part, basically defensive scouting, figuring out their own sides of the map. WaRRioR at the moment just kind of peeling back the layers of the onion here, just trying to get a really good idea of his side. ACCM is doing exactly the same thing. They're both being very diligent with their early game scouting. And then I suppose they will go forward and figure out how they're going to be aggressive. A couple of somewhat long boar lures here, but I think both players are going to be absolutely fine luring in their boars without loom. And for the moment, villager count dead equal. Pretty straightforward Dark Age, pretty clean game so far from both players. Milmano, you know these guys a little bit. If you had to guess, who do you think is the stronger player out of the two?
ACCM. I think when I watch him play, when I've done some team games, I know team games is not 1v1, but just generally when I watched him in team games and other 1v1s as well, I generally think ACCM is probably a more complete player, but more better player. I think he's just generally I think he's a better player. I'm not going to discount WaRRioR though, especially in best of ones, because like if anyone watches any other like esport and stuff like that, then wild strategies can be thrown in. Sometimes the pressure can get to players as well. So I'm not saying it will, but I think anything's possible. So I do think Big WaRRioR is definitely within a shout, especially I think in a map perspective as well. He's definitely, I think, somewhat in his favor. The goal's actually very nice. The backstone, as you said earlier on, really important. And he's already going to start to wall up, as you can see. So actually, no barracks from him. So I think because of the fact that his map is so nice, he's just thinking, well, what's the point? I don't need to drush. I'm just going to wall up and get an earlier uptime. Where ACCM's gone with the other option.
Yeah, I like the decision for him to wall up. Like you said, it's a relatively easy wall. There's no point in drushing if you can just wall yourself in and maybe go quickly to the castle age. ACCM did build a barracks, but is grabbing Loom, so keep an eye on that player. At the moment, 470 food in the bank. So it looks like ACCM will click up before drushing. Possibly the purple player here noticed WaRRioR's score and realized his opponent is probably going somewhat more quickly. He might think quickly to the feudal age, but he just now has found that the red player is walled up. So ACCM is going to abort the mission of drushing, but he's going to turn it into militia being built in the transition, possibly men-at-arms, but I don't see villagers on gold. Oh, 2 vills on gold in the back of the purple base.
It is a smart call. He's going to go for towers along with his man-at-arms tower play. It's actually really nice because he's recognized when he went to scout WaRRioR's base that he's walled up, so he's thinking, well, drush is not going to work, so we're trying to crank the pressure up. Let's go forward, be really aggressive, and just put the towers down, break through the palisade wall, and just try and cause some havoc really inside his base. It'll be interesting where he approaches this though. If he comes from the front, it might be a little bit more difficult because WaRRior can just wall to the sides. Where if ACCM comes around the back towards that gold area, then it might be a better avenue because it's harder to wall up from that position in terms of being further behind. And I think you can get more done with it as well, especially those backward lines and the gold and the stone in particular. So we'll see how he takes it from ACCM.
I would say that we're probably going to see a tower drop on the front. Purple player has not scouted very much. He came forward to find those palisades of WaRRior's front flank. He hasn't really run around with his scout until just now. So he may make a really good decision, like you said, and maybe push near that gold pile. But I suppose we'll see. Men-at-arms is on the way for the purple player. He's got 3 militia out at the moment. And those will soon be men-at-arms. The question is, where is this tower going to come? It's going to come right in the front door area of WaRRiOR, and it looks like WaRRiOR is going to send some vills out to do what? They seem to be dancing around at the moment.
Yeah, he's a bit undecided. Okay, he's just going to try and wall a bit further back. I think he was deciding where exactly put the wall up. And I think now I think because of that slight delay, especially against Spanish building those building speak bonus, so more pressure on him to try and find that spot. So he's actually going to put the house down as well. Those villagers create more of a choke point.
Yeah, WaRRiOR's got a really nice map like we talked about, and he's afforded the opportunity to just send 6 villagers back to stone. Feels like maybe a slight overreaction, but he is all in to defend against this tower push. What do you think about 6 villagers on stone? Is that appropriate at this point?
Yeah, he needs to get the stone pronto because he's going to be involved in a bit of a tower fight. So I think it's wise for him to get the 6 on stone now.
Gotcha. So we will see him be able to build plenty of counter towers. For now, walling toward the TC is the red player. He's in a really good position right now. His opponent is lurking out front, but it's the onus is on ACCM to get something done here. WaRRiOR is in a really nice defensible position, or at least he was for a moment. So I think he will be able to defend this a bit, but the next tower is now coming for ACCM, and he's going to start pushing on these palisades to the left.
Yeah, he's going to try and push it through his left-hand side. Fortunately, though, WaRRiOR will have enough time, I believe, to put a counter tower up on him. But look how much farming land's going to be lost here for WaRRiOR. It's lost all those 4 farms for the TC. Everything pretty much around it as well with us. So you can try and build towards the back, towards that mill. And you might be okay there, but 4 early farms that have been seeded that have been lost. And now the pressure's going to start coming in a bit more. So here's that counter tower being put down now.
Yeah, the efficiency of this walling is actually pretty important for the red player. He's got to wall up his side. He's going to maybe wall out his male villager there. Looks like the purple player, ACCM, will get in through that group of walls and will continue to roam toward that back wood line. And that was a really, really bad consequence for WaRRiOR. If he could have finished those palisades, I think he would have been sitting pretty. But this is going to be interesting now.
Yeah, this is not how he expected to happen. I think if he put a gate there, I think he would have been a lot better off. He would have stopped those man-at-arms from coming in when he was building that palisade wall. But now he's building a market, and I think he's just trying to slightly rebalance his economy slightly. I'm not entirely. I thought also trying to block off as well, trying to get in. But see what he does with that market in a second. As the next tower counts tower being built up.
Yeah, this is really important. WaRRiOR is kind of all in with a ton of villagers trying to get his tower up in defense. Purple player with just 4 vills, but he has the men-at-arms and scout to distract WaRRiOR, and he's going to grab a villager there, and possibly 2. Looks like one villager going down for now. But WaRRiOR here is getting creeped on at the moment. It's looking like it's going to be an interesting game. This tower push is rather effective so far.
It is, and then you can see from the villager numbers right now, 31 to 30. So it's a slight increase of by 1, I know, but not doing too bad so far. Especially all this idle time. It's just crazy. 2 towers filled with villagers. He's got a villager by the mill that's being used. It's not going good, that's for sure. The fortunate thing in all this though is that he does have a big bank of food into him. So villager creation wise is going to be fine if he's actually going to create, and he's in fact going to click up. Now this is a bold move. I mean, he's not on any goals so far. I mean, he's got 1 villager, but he has to get rid of that tower, and he's going to do that.
Yeah, it is a really interesting situation. 800 food in the bank for the red player. Has the market, can sell some resources if he wants to try to click up in a moment. Has plenty of stone to sell. He hasn't clicked up yet, at least not at the time point I'm at. Are you seeing ACCM with 4 more vills to the north of the red TC? Purple player is just north of WaRRioR's TC, dropping more towers, and he's creeping in 2 different directions, or at least I guess he's abandoned the first direction. But he's going to try to creep in that direction. There's kind of slim pickings on that side of the map. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not really much to be offered at this point. I mean, again, Big WaRRioR's being a little bit smart here, building the farms on the other side of the mill side. The mill side. God. He's going to build up a tower and just try and creep forward, as you say. I don't know. It looks like he's actually going to abandon the entire approach, which is
I think it's I think it's a good timing for him to abandon it. To be honest, I think it's kind of running out of gas. Nice defense from WaRRioR. He has clicked up. His opponent saw the market, probably surmises what's going down right now. And we're seeing the purple player basically starting to retreat. He's still got 4 vills forward, but he's stonewalling back at home. He's building up the buildings that he needs to click up to Castle Age himself. ACCM at the moment does need 1 more building and a bit more food, but he'll be stonewalled in. So if you're WaRRioR in this situation, Milmano, what's your next move? You hit the Castle Age. Do you drop a stable and pump some knights out, or is it?
Nah, stable's not. I don't think he hasn't got a barracks, so I mean he's got to build the barracks first for the stable, and his wood count's pretty low. I imagine he's probably going to go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I'm actually going to do either 1 or 2 things. Either he, buy some wood and build some TCs, or he's going to go for a castle and Conquistadors. And I believe probably the Conquistador route. I mean, his stone's pretty much near towards that 650 mark. So we'll see, but I think he's going to go for the Conquistador route and try and get some map control back and try and, if he can, put some pressure onto ACCM, because he has no knowledge right now of what ACCM has done in terms of the stone walls. So we'll see what he does.
You're right. WaRRioR here does not know anything about the purple base, and it does look like he will. I didn't notice how heavily he was onto stone, but he will, very quickly be able to drop a castle. Positioning of that castle is going to be right on the front, maybe right where you expected it. Protect that gold pile, and it will also be able to knock over these one of these towers from the purple player ACCM. So Conquistadors will be coming out rather early for WaRRioR. ACCM did get in some idle time. He did kill a couple vills, or a vill, I should say. But all in all, what do you think? Is that a failed tower push, or is it good enough in your opinion?
I think it's done the job. I mean, it's delayed. It's delayed WaRRioR's castle time by a decent margin. He's put some pressure down. He's still ahead in the vill count. I know he's got an idle TC, so it will close the gap, but generally wise, it wasn't a fail, but it wasn't a successful one either. It's kind of like in my opinion anyway, it's like a meh. Like it started well and then it just dropped off. So I think he's okay though.
WaRRioR right now is killing me. He's got, if you look at his mill, the red player's mill, to the north of that mill, he's got a blacksmith. He built it with 2 villagers, and those 2 villagers have just been standing there for like almost a full minute of game time now. So he's got those 2 idols, which is absolutely triggering my OCD. But it may not matter. Conquistador is on the way out. He's going to go try to raid the purple player, ACCM. ACCM has very wisely walled up. But one thing worth noting is at least this wood line to the north of the purple TC is really pretty open to some Conquistador raiding. So the purple player will probably have to relocate to a wood line in the back corner of the map. But other than that, the Conquistadors aren't going to get much done, don't you think?
Well, the wood line definitely can be hit to a large amount. So he's going to have to relocate that at some point. Whether or not he can actually else he can do. I mean, you can always make a couple of petards. That's definitely, without question, you can do that. If he wants to do that, it's quite a pricey thing to do. But I don't know. It depends. It depends on what WaRRioR wants to achieve. He wants to go fully aggressive, then yes, maybe build a forward siege workshop. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He's not been able to achieve much with this so far. Because even if he destroys those houses, it'll take some time to destroy them at this point. And ACCM can definitely hold that position. So now it's up to ACCM what he wants to do. I think he's going to go for a castle. He's actually going to put it next to that wood line. It's an interesting choice, but I kind of don't see why though, because he still wants to take that wood. If he drops it somewhere else, then his wood line's under pressure, and then he will lose time on the lumber efficiency or whatever you want to call it, and that means delay TC. So as much as I'm ranting on here, it's actually a smart choice basically.
I'm thinking that ACCM is actually, like you were saying before, he's done a nice job with the tower push. He's given himself time to wall in. I think he's a little bit in WaRRioR's head. WaRRioR just made a petard, by the way. Petard coming all the way across the map. Or a petard, I suppose, depending on where.
We can call it petard. It's fine.
Okay,
we
good.
Can call it petard.
But what I was saying is, I think ACCM is a little bit in WaRRioR's head. WaRRioR lost a farmer on the front here. To the tower from the purple player. He sent a couple conquistadors right through the purple tower area. He's just kind of taken some damage, had some idols. I think he's a little bit nerve-wracked at the moment, but he is the aggressor now, and WaRRioR is going to try to come forward and drop one of these walls with a petard and run in and get some conquistador action going. That's exciting, man. I love to see some.
It is. I'm going to cut you off again, but it is. The good thing in all this, though, for ACCM, I mean, he hasn't got the numbers just yet, but he does have that high ground. So when and if WaRRioR decides to petard through, because it's going to take 2 petards to get through this wall. I hope he's created a second, by the way, because, one's not going to cut it. Unless he, hits the wall enough. But we'll see what he does.
For the moment, he's going to try to push through these walls. He's going to just have that petard hanging over his opponent's head, I suppose. Oh,
he's
boy.
Not watching. Oh, he's not watching.
Yeah,
that's 2.
Ooh, loses 2.5 conquistadors there. It's just unfortunate. It seems like WaRRioR might be a little bit inside his head right now, but we'll see if he can work the kinks out here. He still has a chance to make a push. He's certainly not all in with his aggression. Back at home, the red player does have 3 TCs, so it's not as though he's going with a 1 TC all-in push. But yeah, let's see, man. This petard for the moment is going to hang out and wait for his time. That's going to give ACCM a moment to build up more conquistadors. At the moment, yeah, both players just standing and watching each other. 1 armor upgrade more for the purple player ACCM. Red player WaRRioR is not upgraded on his conks at the moment.
Yeah. Absolutely right. So 3 TCs now for ACM. WaRRioR right now is also on 3 TC, so looking like it's a little bit ahead there for ACCM. I think he got them up a little bit earlier, but it's not that much of a difference to start saying that, ACCM is flying ahead. But I think he's in a rock-solid position, though. He does, have got 3 TCs up in good locations. The castle's up on protecting that wood line at the top. And he's also got a good high ground as well if he wants to use it. But he's actually going to go out for a raiding, and this is when, here's that petard.
Man.
Here we go.
The timing could not be better from WaRRioR there, waiting for his opponents to walk away, conquistadors to walk away, and then he's going to run in.
Yeah, and ACCM just realized, he's like, oh god, bad timing, gotta go.
Yeah, quickly turning around those purple conquistadors. He's going to lose a little bit of TC time. Purple player did drop a stable, but has not built any units there just yet. He will drop a monastery now and try to get his base back in order. But we'll see what WaRRioR can get done here.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. I think he can get done a little bit of idle time. He's also forced ACCM to go off the main goals. Luckily, though, he's on the second one, thanks to that TC up in the north, so he's going to be just fine there. Now, the interesting thing I've just heard, of course, is that monastery. Good timing, actually, from ACCM to think about that. Get that down, get the monk out. Not only is it great to pick up those relics, but also, especially in a Spanish war like this, to start converting those conquistadors. So,
Yeah, a little micro battle going on at the moment. WaRRioR has more conks, so he will probably win, but the purple player ACCM adding in more and more conquistadors, so he's eventually going to actually clean these units up. Thought the red player might have like a couple of seconds of game time after a brief win, but he won't. He's trying to snipe a Vil. But in the end, other than idle time, WaRRioR is going to retreat away from this raiding without anything much to his name.
Yeah,
No
that fight was actually really good by ACCM because he chose the perfect timing. Because he just got the bloodlines kicked in as they started that fight, and You know, WaRRioR does not have that. It's 20 HP difference. So that was really significant. He was able to clean that up really nicely. So good job there from ACCM. I really like that patience. I think I really love about that from someone like ACCM or any top player, is that just to know when to look for that engagement. So that was, top.
Purple player, while we were looking away, while I was looking away, maybe Zach caught it on the camera. He did send a villager out and he reclosed his walls, and that trapped those last couple conquistadors inside. And that's a big deal. 2 or 3 conquistadors that could have retreated and gone back home and healed up are now dead. Conquistador counts are dead equal. ACCM has 5 extra vills and an extra TC. So ACCM, like you said, being patient here will continue to boom his economy up a bit more.
Yeah, it's like WaRRioR's going to try and sneak in around just in that little indent in the wood line, try and pick up a 1 or 2 bills. He's got range for it. Just needs to tuck himself in a bit more.
Yeah, he'll fire a few shots, but not get any kills there. Yeah, at the moment, it feels like we've seen a push from purple fizzle out a bit, and now we're seeing a push from the red player sort of fizzling out. Are you feeling like the momentum here is swinging toward ACCM at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's in a very good position right now. It still can easily turn itself back around though, so I think he's just got to be, again, just don't overextend, and then he should be fine. You know, what I mean by that is don't go for any risky fights, or just play it safe. Is what I'm trying to say to him. Right?
Yeah, back at home. Yeah, the red player will add in a 4th TC as well, so both of these guys will have pretty massive economies. For now, they will have a relatively small number of conquistadors, but you got to think WaRRioR has gotten some good annoyance, and he's kept ACCM busy. Purple player hasn't gone forward to raid at all. It's time for him to go make hay while the sun is shining, I suppose. But for now, WaRRioR's just going to hang out with his army in the corner and wait for ACCM probably to leave this hill.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good point there, that she kept ACTM back at home. It means his economy hasn't really been too much harassed coming his way. What's actually really interesting to note here as well, this 4th TC by WaRRioR I think is actually super important for him in particular, because his base is actually quite cramped at the moment and he can't really expand that much further back because of the hill. So in terms of TC wise, so getting himself out there down the south, really important for the gold, but also just helping expand out the map, and especially that hill in front of him by that monastery, because he probably wants to get some more map control into his belt. Again, push out on the map. So getting that castle, I think, on that hill is probably really key for him in this game. So I hope he's going to do that. He's even positioned as Conquistadors on there, so I think he's recognized that this is actually an important space. And now we're seeing ACCM starting to come out on the map now with those Conquistadors looking to try and go on the offensive. So see what he does here.
A really notable difference here is that the red player does not have bloodlines. He'll be 55 HP on his conquistadors. The purple player is coming forward with 75 HP. So pretty significant difference in the HP of these 2 sets of conks. ACCM also has maybe a couple conquistadors more than his opponent. Red player has the hill advantage for now, but I think in the end, ACCM could get a good fight on flat ground with that extra HP.
Yeah, has he still not got it? God, that's so huge. Fortunate high ground is helping out WaRRioR a lot despite this. But he really needs to get this stable. I mean, he must be starting to wonder why he's not doing so well in these engagements, especially in this one in particular, about to see. 3 months trying to convert.
Yeah, the purple player here is just brazenly climbing this hill, and why wouldn't he? His opponent is not bloodlined yet. At the moment, I don't even see a stable on the red side, but we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, big fight on the front. ACCM claims the hill. His monks are coming forward, and he's going to do a little bit of annoying his opponent, a little bit of eco damage, potentially some idle villagers. Double barracks coming down for the red player at the moment. Both guys on the way to Imperial Age. But the big difference here just being that one group has bloodlines and the other does not. Purple player is coming forward, and he's going to drop a castle to take over a bit more territory nearer to the center of the map. And maybe also notably, 9 villagers ahead at the moment is ACCM. So not only does he have the bigger military, he might be able to sustain his military numbers a little bit better than WaRRioR.
Yeah, interestingly, 2 different directions both players have taken. ACCM is going to go, I believe, probably down towards the more Conquistador line. Who I think that's what I'm going to see here. You've got the +2 armor up done. He's going to get the second castle down. Whereas WaRRioR, he's looking to go down the Halberdier route. I don't see any more stables, so could be a mixture of conks and halbs, which is interesting to note. What's also very interesting to note just now, ACCM just finally got the horse collar, so it's going to help out his farms quite a bit. He's probably been wondering why they need to keep reseeding, but he's fixed it now, so it's good news for him. And that monastery actually going to go down. Was that a relic in there as well that's now been dropped? Or
I think there was just a monk garrisoned. I don't see a relic there.
okay.
But yeah, that building will still go down. It still costs money. And look at this. ACCM will claim that hill with a castle.
Someone built a castle on there. Wasn't WaRRioR.
Absolutely beautiful. WaRRioR at the moment has a ton of idols in the north of his base where he was taking stone. He's not got enough stone to drop a castle of his own. Both players hit imp, and we may see some trebs coming out. Red Castle at the moment is producing trebs, and we might see a bit of a treb war. The only problem is, does WaRRioR have enough conquistadors to keep his trebs safe? That's really the question in my mind.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned here. Wait, ACCM? Wait, did ACCM? Okay, I thought I just saw the horse collar research again. So my only assumption is that he cancelled it, which would have been ludicrous. But anyway, I'm just focused so much on this horse collar now. Anyway, so Elite Conquistador and Ring Archer armor coming in for him. This is really concerning though, I think, for WaRRioR, because he's making pikemen, no halberdier upgrade. He's just lacking a little bit of gold for it, but he's got the resources to produce, but he's only got 3 racks and a castle. I mean, this is where it gets troubling because like ACM's got so much stronger economy under his belt, 20 more villagers, and also he's, I think, got more production in terms of what he's using with. You've got the trebuchets, he's got loads of conquistadors. Now he's starting to see archery rangers, so I'm assuming it's going to be hand cannoneers or elite skirmisher. I imagine it's going to be hand cannoneers. Excuse me.
Yeah,
on those archery rangers.
Yeah, chemistry's coming in right now, so the purple player probably thinking about some cannons. Capture Ram coming as well, so he's probably thinking about some Capture Rams. Go figure. Halbs right now for WaRRioR are a decent unit as a honeypot if he can get his opponent to try to run in and snipe his trebs, but he has to win the treb war. You can't really win from a defensive position without winning the treb war in this situation. Red player will end up losing his halbs, but he will grab a couple of conks on the front. Total military counts 29 for ACCM, mostly conquistadors and monks at this point. Only 14 for WaRRioR, and some of that is trash. WaRRioR at the moment with 23 idols, mostly just because his economy is in shambles. It's absolutely and totally basically a huge mess of villagers bumping into each other or standing around. So at the moment, WaRRioR seems to be a bit overwhelmed by his opponent's push.
Yeah, he's a little bit overwhelmed at this point. There's nothing much you can do about it, I don't think. I guess he's off gold completely, by the way. Well, the ones that are trying to get to gold are being shot down. Oh, those poor bodies. But his main gold's completely dried up, so he has to go north if he's found it. I don't think has he actually found that extra. You see that just in the point of view for WaRRioR, that one tile of the gold up in the north. So I don't think he's actually noticed it though. Not really, no. But yeah, it's gonna call GG anyway. It's too late. So
great. So WaRRioR will call GG here. We'll see ACCM move forward. Maybe I was a little too harsh on WaRRioR. I think he played a really nice game. I really thought his tower defense was very good. But in the end here, just getting so many conquistadors and a castle drop in his face was just a bit too powerful. We saw the red player here build a petard, which makes it a great game in my opinion. But in the end, we will see ACCM get the win and move on. Pretty good game for us to start the day, Milmano. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it's good to get ourselves, warmed up, rolled in,
Absolutely.
That was actually a really good game. I did love the aggression from ACCM in that tower push. It was actually a strong hold, like you said, from WaRRioR. It ended up being a bit of a meh in terms of how it all went, in terms of the push. But then WaRRioR came back with a nice sort of idea with the petard through. I loved seeing that, but unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him. I think he just always was a little bit behind on the economy, and I think he maybe tried a little bit too hard to try and get himself back in. I know it sounds like I'm probably over criticizing, but I didn't think he was in as bad a position as he thought he was. Like you said earlier, when you think he got into his head. So I think that was really well played by ACCM, and props to WaRRioR. I think he gave a good shot at it, that's for sure.
A really great game from these guys. They certainly played a heck of a lot better than you or I could. And I suppose we will probably go to some music for a moment. Maybe Zach will pop on some music on the channel, and we will pop out of this game and into the next one.
Yeah, thanks guys for the cast. Very enjoyable game. I thought ACCM just really had that in the palm of his hand most of the game. The only chance WaRRioR really had to do any damage was when he broke through the wall in the south. And ACCM reacted really well to that. He took so little damage, and as Milmano said in the cast, he waited until he had the Bloodlines tech, and then he took the perfect fight. And then from then on, it was really just ACCM's game, and WaRRioR in the end just couldn't access the gold, and I think he was probably very starved of gold at the end as well. So pretty tough. But ACCM will go forward. WaRRioR will be knocked out of the qualification stage. And yeah, we'll be back in a couple of minutes for our next